what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it. Who probably doesn't know what's coming for them? UCLA. Can you imagine how they're going to be feeling Saturday afternoon? They're coming from California, where it's probably beautiful, 75 degrees.
So it's actually been super hot over there.
Perfect. Yeah, I know. It's been like 80s, 90s.
Like hundreds.
Yeah, probably
My
in the
cousin
hottest
there,
parts of California.
like
in LA, it's hitting the
in
hundreds?
LA, yeah.
Okay. I've heard 90s. I know they've been having some crazy
They don't even have
earthquakes.
AC there.
Yeah, I know.
I'd kill myself.
It's not as bad though. When we were in the desert, when we were in Vegas, I ran at noon when it was like 100-something degrees, and it's not as bad.
That's true.
It was not as bad as the 80 whatever it was at my kid's soccer game on Sunday, where it was so wet in the air you could just drink the air. But the point is, these cats are going to be warming up and just be wondering, where the hell am I? What is today's date? Is it really almost October? Because this crap is miserable. And that is just one of and they're on the east sideline. That's right. The sideline that I once watched even the Auburn Tigers wilt under as the Sun beat them into submission before DJ Chark finished them with a punt return.
In the chat, Hunt said it's been 70s at UCLA. That is completely false. I have multiple family members that live out in Los Angeles. It is definitely not 70. For them, it has certainly been a heat wave. But doesn't matter. It ain't this heat wave.
This is, like I said, this is one of many advantages that LSU will have. This is a must smash. Make no mistake about it. Not a must win. I know you are going to win the game. This is a must smash. This is not a good UCLA team. They lost a lot of their best defensive players when they lost their very good defensive coordinator in D'Anton Lynn. Remember, D'Anton Lynn was the reason why UCLA was anything last year, not Chip Kelly. Bringing them from 111th ranked defense in terms of EPA per play to 8th in the country in a single offseason. So not only do you lose Chip Kelly, a very experienced offensive mastermind who's now the OC over there at Ohio State, but you lose D'Anton Lynn, one of the most exciting up-and-comers in terms of defensive minds. And you gain Deshaun Foster, a guy who just does not have very much experience, and especially not in the head coaching realm. And you lost a lot of your best defensive players with D'Anton Lynn in the transfer portal. And you lost your 5-star freshman quarterback, Dante Moore, who admittedly did not play well last year, but could see the potential. Well, he went to Oregon. You lost everything this offseason. You didn't gain that much. And now you got to come down to Baton Rouge to play right after you just got dominated at home by Indiana. Kirk Cignetti and company. Indiana's quarterback. And shout out Reed Darcy. He pointed out in his piece today in The Advocate. It's kind of an early look at UCLA. Indiana's quarterback, Curtis Rourke, who went to Miami of Ohio last year, has thrown for 300 yards once in his career, or once last season. Well, he just went for over 300 on this UCLA defense. And I just watched Garrett Nussmeier and this offense put up 36 points against a very good elite South Carolina defense. 36 points, and you still didn't score twice from inside the 5. This offense should decimate the UCLA defense. Decimate. And again, you want to talk about coaching advantages? Lincoln Riley versus Brian Kelly was one thing. It was obviously a battle. I tried to talk down Lincoln. Lincoln's been punching back this year. Deshaun Foster and Brian Kelly are not even in the same realm. And you saw it with Kirk Cignetti last week. So, yeah, this ain't must. must win. This is a must smash. This is a statement game for LSU to prove that they are better than a lot of us think, and that and to gain some confidence for them themselves going forward.
And also, last time you played UCLA, you lost 38-27.
Yep.
And they big boyed you.
Yep.
It was 38-27. It wasn't that close.
Yeah. It was miserable.
I mean, you kind of scored late to get it closer. It was not close. And so, yeah, now some players are still left over from that team, but regardless, like, you owe them one, and you need one. You need a performance to go out there and feel like in the third quarter that you've already accomplished a lot of different things, and you've already kind of, put the hay in the barn. I'm not saying you take the foot off the gas. You don't. But I'm saying you didn't have that feeling against Nichols, right? You need one of those where, Garrett Nussmeier's got his pads undone in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Like, it would be very, very nice to see that. I'm not saying it's going to be, but that's what you need. That is what you need. You need a situation where you go out there, you control the narrative, you dictate the pace of the game, because Indiana just did it to them in the Rose Bowl. You should be able to do that. And not oftentimes do we ever call for that.
No. This is like sometimes you just have a read that is as clear as day on a game. Mississippi State last year under Zach Garnett, we knew it. That's probably just one that I could see the most clear. This is right there with that. Must smash. What do you think you do with Caden Durham this week? Is Caden Durham just straight up RB1?
He is for me. He is for me without question. He gets the opportunity because when you have a running back by committee, you're still going to play the other players in different spots. Like even last game, Josh Williams ran in the game-winning touchdown. You're still going to have them in their spots. But when you have a running back by committee and one player separates themselves from the others, he is going to get the most run.
Yeah.
He's going to get 60% of the run, and then you have two backs, maybe three, that split up the other 40%. Like, that's what I would like to see. I mean, he has earned the right to go out there and start the game, get a bulk of the carries. Again, because he did something that no other running back this year has done for them.
Do you think
created on his own?
Mentally, is he ready for that workload? Because he is. I mean, he came in the spring, correct, Taylor? Was Durham here in the spring? Or
Durham was not here in the spring.
Okay, I was having that conversation.
Well, remember we had
yesterday.
we had the short bodies because
yeah,
Holly was out. Emory wasn't really back from injury yet, and Durham wasn't here. It was Williams and Jackson. That was it.
Because I was talking to somebody about that yesterday, and they're like, how does Caden Durham hide up to this point? And I'm like, well, I was like, maybe. And I said, if he got here in the spring, then the point I'm about to make is a little weakened. But like sometimes it just clicks for freshmen at different times, like kind of out of nowhere. If you're new to it, you're learning. Is he ready to take on the mental workload of being RB1?
Here's my thought process on that. And you've heard me say this 1,000 times. It's the one position, and look, it's my position, so I feel like I can speak on it. It's the one position that you can come in and immediately be ready. There's a lot of receiver, I don't think you can. Quarterback more so now than you could before, but I don't think you can. DB, certainly not. Offensive line, no. Now, you can play, but you're going to make some mistakes.
Even to be a quarterback, I feel like you'd have to be there in the spring.
Yeah,
I don't
running
think you
back,
can come in the fall.
I think running back's one of the ones that you can transition pretty quickly. And think about his biggest game was in the biggest environment that they've been in to this point.
Yeah, he wasn't scared. He stared into the gaping maw of death, and they said, "Not today."
It's not gonna get any more difficult as far as venues that you play in this year. So if he can handle that, I'm not really worried about some of the other stuff. I mean, think about. Like, you're going to be at Arkansas. That's not going to be as good as South Carolina. Now, A&M, depending on, what happens over the next couple of games, it'll be loud. At Florida, it's not going to be what South Carolina was.
I'm just thinking a little bit of like, did you see Juwan Johnson last game when he got in? Ran a screen past him in the wrong way.
Yes.
O-line. And I'm
they
not
made
using
adjustments
that as a
at the line of
criticism.
scrimmage.
I'm not using that. Yeah, I know. And you can see
I
was trying to tell him. I'm not using that as a criticism of Juwan Johnson. He just started playing the position like 10 days ago. None of that is on him. But, these are just indicative of some of the issues that you could run into if you're going with a very, very young guy there. So I agree. Give him the first crack at it. Even though I still maintain, though, that While I was very disappointed in the pass protection, and Williams going to have to pick up that, Josh Williams also was a bit better with the ball in his hands last game than people think. He wasn't.
First carry of the game, broke a tackle.
Yeah, he broke a few tackles. Almost every time I don't think, from my film review, the majority of time he actually broke the first tackle. He just didn't break the second, and then he didn't have kind of the explosive next level burst that Durham had to truly finish the runs and find ways into the end zone. So I guess the point is, I'm not out on Josh Williams. He still needs reps as well. We talked about tendency breakers yesterday, right? Them bringing him in on that third down, making them think passing and running the ball to set up a shorter, more convertible 4th and 3, I thought was some pretty shrewd offensive coordinating. So, yeah, LSU's minus 22.5. Exactly. Must smash. And it's going to start this Saturday. Can't wait. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.